Hey everybody, welcome to Eco Convos. We're here with Cyril Bourke from EMF Solutions.
Hello everybody.
EMF Solutions, is that right?
Yeah.
That is right.
Well, we've got two major titles, right? One is EMF safety, that's our industrial side, and we do it for telecom and power companies and libraries and councils and hospitals and medical centres, and the list is fairly endless. And that's our industrial end of things. And we use the same technology in domestic home and shielding and protecting people at home. So that's Health Express World. But the easy one to find us under is emfbusters.com.au.
emfbusters.com.au. The link's just above us. So make sure you click on that and check that out. Now, Cyril, we've got a whole heap of toys and everything around here.
When we turn up at a job, we tend to have about $100,000 worth of test equipment.
Excellent.
The other stuff is in the car, to be honest. And I brought some of it out so we could have a little chat about an overview of what we do.
I need to have David Jones' hands, which is my wife says, and just put them in my pocket so I don't touch anything and clumsily break anything.
I'll give you an overview of what happens really. We often get called out to a home and people say, look, I've just moved in, I'm concerned, can you check it out? I'm not sleeping. That's a typical thing. And we'll be looking at the measurements inside the house and outside the house. And for that, in this case, we'll be using one of these. This is a proper industrial meter. These are measured in such a way that they are able to be used in court. So when we do a test with these devices, they find the GPS location, their accuracy is extremely high, they're certificated so that we can literally use them in court. So if somebody's trying to deal with something and they have maybe litigation involved, the barristers get us to measure with these devices.
So they are that accurate and that sensitive.
These literally we supply to people like NASA, the defence regiments, the telecom companies. So this is the right end of the business. So these devices, this particular one, we can measure up to 60 gigahertz. Right.
Okay, so what does that mean for those of us who don't know what you're talking about?
Most of your telecom and your home domestic power might be 50 hertz. Okay, that's an electric field. Then you might be looking at the telecom that might be from 700-800 megahertz through to maybe 5 gigs or so. Most people are aware of 5G, which tends to sit around 3.5 gig, but it does actually go above and below that. Then you've got transfer of data from NBN that might be sitting at maybe 10, 11 gig, 18 gig, 23 gig, all the way up to around 40 gig. Then you've got satellite up and down that's in the mid-20s. Then you've got data transfer on council towers and things. Some of those are sitting, I've seen, as high as about 80 gig.
Wow.
The probe we've got here today, just down there, that's a 60 gig probe.
That's the little one,
and they're able to read up to those values. So we can literally get a snapshot of all the electric field that's going on. And if we need to do magnetic field, we'll use this one here. So this is used on telecom as well. So we can look at magnetic and power. And basically this is intended for getting those values, a magnetic field and electric field. So depending on what job we're doing, we use different probes.
So, and we went on, and throughout the podcast as well, we were talking about why that's important and being able to check out those differences. But those values are all changing at the moment as well, because we've got the aircon on here, we've got power going behind us, there's cars driving past, which have
you're picking up telecom, you're picking up from the shopping centres, the Wi-Fi, all sorts of things. So
incredibly sensitive.
So these don't just read a measurement; we actually log for a period of time and get to get all the values, high and low, and the mean values, the RMS values. We get to understand the environment itself. Now, other things we look at dirty power. So the oscilloscope there we tend to use to look at the general dirty power, and that's the rubbish that's superimposed from solar, smart meters, devices in your home that have inverters, and it puts this aggressive signal on the power. We get to see it on the oscilloscope, and we get to measure it with what we call a GS meter or a Graham-Stetzer meter, and this is a dirty power meter. So this will give it to us on a scale in GS units. Now that helps us plan about filtering in a house. because you can actually reduce or remove that dirty power by using filters. So we then provide these to the public, and they can install them at home. We have videos to show them how to do that, and we can guide them through that process.
So by doing that, by using those filters, you plug them in, you're setting them up to reduce the issues with dirty power. So does it affect the devices, how they're working?
No, it doesn't affect your television and other things, but what happens is you don't get as agitated at home. The reason I got involved with the Stetzer filters is I had 26 solar panels put on the roof of my house. Yep. Within an hour, I had a screaming headache. Yeah, right. And with an engineering background, I thought, well, I think it's related to what's just happened. And I looked closer into it. Eventually I contacted David Stetzer in America, and we started using their products because as soon as I put those into the house, my headache stopped, and I was able to see the changes of what was actually happening. Yeah. I've had people with large dogs and things who just bark all day, and they'll put Stetzers in and it'll stop. Sleeping becomes much easier with these. Brittle diabetes and things like that we've seen changes in. So things that people wouldn't have normally even thought about in relationship to it, when they smooth the electricity out, often they get a physical change, which is wonderful to see. Yeah. But that's like one end of what we do. We also provide solutions like the Y-Shield group, a German group, and they provide a whole series of paints, shielding paints, so you can make Faraday cages, as we call them, but actually it's basically a paint on the wall, and then it's grounded, and then you paint over with your normal white and whatever colour you want in the room, and now the room looks as normal as it would normally be, but you're actually sleeping in a space where your telephone and network, Wi-Fi, it doesn't penetrate it, and the power from the wall doesn't come through either.
So you're completely protected.
Yeah, you get to sleep like a baby. Absolutely beautiful. So Y-Shield are who we use for that, and we bring in the materials and distribute that to healthcare people, electricians, architects, all sorts of things. Yeah. And we also provide a whole range of products. So here's an example that we were talking about earlier. These are Faraday bags. So it's a robust canvas bag, and it has. Here we go. So that's like it's got an interior. There you go. You drop it in there, and you can just fold it over. And now your phone cannot see the network. In fact, your network can't see your phone. So anybody who's worried about tracing, tagging, people following where their phone is, with these, you can't be seen, it literally disappears. A Faraday bag stops people from stealing data from your phone, your wallet, and the big one is big enough for a handbag, where you could put in credit cards. Businessmen having a meeting, they just drop all their phones in there, fold it over, and then suddenly everybody's dropped off the network, nobody's recording it, nobody's monitoring where you are. So products like that on our website, very, very effective, very useful, and very timely at this point in the world.
100%.
When we do a consult, we don't just test and say, okay, you've got a problem. We actually want to provide the solutions. And that's the most important part of it, really. So if somebody has a room or a bedroom, for example, where they want to shield it and they don't want to be sleeping in an electric field, which is a really good thing, we'll use one of these. This is a thermal imager. So we'll actually examine the room. Once we've done the measurements, we'll examine it, we'll go around, we'll find out if there's any damp or any issues related to the paintwork or the structure. We can even see whether there's lagging and insulation in the roof. I've even found pythons and possums with it.
So we actually use our pest control guys use very similar ones as well when they're looking for termites and things like that. So it's the same device.
Yep, they'll use a thermal imager to watch the activity. So we use those to make sure that when somebody's just bought a house, for example, they may have had a test, for building construction, whatever. But we make sure that the walls are dry and suitable for painting, because obviously we want them to shield well, not have any issues when they do that. So we'll check what's happening there, and then we can calculate all the materials that they require. And we don't always have to go visit the location. Very often people will send us drawings, or even just sketch a drawing and say, this is my bedroom, what do you recommend? And we can calculate out exactly how much paint, how much materials are involved, We ship it to them as a kit, and then we can guide them over, and they can install it themselves. So there's multiple ways that we support the public in shielding.
And they can get in touch once again through the website.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Great. Now I just want to have a quick look at these headphones here.
There we go.
So these are the ones we talked about this during the podcast as well. AirTube.
That's right. So have you ever wondered why your headphones are exactly the same length? It's because when you plug your phone into the headset, it hijacks your headset and it becomes an extension to the antenna, which is where it's transmitting the power. So the power goes all the way along the headset, and then it meets your ear, and you've stuck it right in your ear next to the thinnest bone in your body.
Yeah.
All right, so it's literally firing an electric field and a magnetic field, because that's how the coil works. Well, to avoid that, what we've done is we've got headsets where the speaker is down here, right? Yeah. So it's away from your brain, and air travels up, and you get 3 sets of silicon earpieces, small, medium, and large, and that goes into your ear. And basically locks in like that, and it's very popular with motorcyclists and horse riders and people like that, because you can put a crash helmet on and it doesn't pull the earplugs out. So that's an extra benefit.
Yeah.
But these very low costs, and they work brilliantly. We always encourage people to use their phone at a distance, and this just adds to that support. And they've got controls for answering the phone, and volume control, Android and Apple settings. They work really well. We've got them in black and white, and that's a simple thing that solves. Just simple thing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Cyril, thank you so much for showing us through, giving us a really brief introduction. Make sure you check out the website, check out their products, and go and see some of the benefits you can get, because you've got all the studies and whatnot as well showing the benefits on there too. So, mate, thank you very much. Talk to you next time, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.